so important when you're thinking about how to create a meaningful life or a great life, to think about that from the perspective of what you individually and personally care about without the influences of everyone else defining what that may mean for you.
Warren Buffett is in his late 70s now, and he has kind of a wry smile and an impish grin and a sparkle in his eyes. And he says that, of course, a lot of people come to him with ideas about business plans and what they should be doing in the next step in their career and in their life. And he says he's surprised at how many times that when he's approached this way, that people don't instantly start to talk about what has meaning in their lives or where the passion lives in their heart. That they'll decide that they'll do this next thing for a few years, 2 or 3, maybe 5 years, and then they'll do something that they're passionate about. And before you know it, a dozen years have passed, and they're looking at maybe the next job or the next business or when they get bought out or when they get promoted to think about doing something that they're passionate about. He said, Mark, if you think about your career and your business that way, that's a little bit like saving up sex for old age. It's not a great idea. Someone else who moved me so much and is very cause-driven is Maya Angelou. Now, you might not see an instant segue from a CEO to a poet, but there's more to this than meets the eye. Maya Angelou is basically, in many respects, for her life and her set of passions, done it all. And the day I arrived, it was at the height of the fall color. Now, you know exactly the kind of day that I'm talking about. Deepest, darkest blue sky. And those gold leaves shimmered like gold foil in the sunlight. And I could stand there on her doorstep forever because I could smell cookies and coffee and comfort food. And the door swings open and her assistant welcomes me into her living room, which has this soaring open beam ceiling with this 20-foot plate glass window looking out to the fall color. And every once in a while the wind would whip up those leaves and it would look like one of those huge aquarium exhibits, with the goldfish floating all about. And suddenly there was this hand on my shoulder. I turn around and I look up. She's 6 foot plus. I'm just barely 5'8". And I'm looking up at this tall, gorgeous Amazon in a black flowing gown. And she was wearing this African jewelry that sounded like wind chimes when she moved. And she had this deep, melodious voice. I swear if I'd left all my recording equipment on the front doorstep, would have got every word in the living room. Beautiful voice. And I sat down like I felt I was in church. And she said, Mark, I just can't believe that people go to offices day in and day out, disconnected from their senses. She says, God should just strike you down for not feeling all of your senses. She says, work is like anything else. It should be a sensual experience. You've got to think about it like a lover. Caress it. Make love to it. And I thought, gosh, we never talk this way in the office. Wow.